Drawing texture, mark making with a pen. Today we're going to use these Artline pens. They make a pretty fine mark and they're waterproof in case you want to watercolor over top of them. Today's all about mark making. We're going to draw two spheres, two circles, and shade them in with our marks. And this first sphere I just want to feel rough. So I'm going to scribble the whole thing. In this case I've started without a drawing because it really doesn't matter. If my sphere is a perfect circle, I can always add a few marks around the edges to shore it up a little bit. Alright, so when I'm scribbling, I try to scribble small and in every direction, almost like I'm making little tiny stars. By scribbling in every direction, there's really no dominant direction to your scribble and it feels even and rough. In order for my marks to appear to be a lighter value as I work towards the highlight, I'll start to pick up my pen and leave more gaps between my strokes, between my marks. Less marks and disconnected marks. And in the what would be the highlight area, just a few little scribbles, almost like stippling if you're familiar with that technique. I like my artwork to be consistent all the way through, so if I scribble the sphere, maybe I'll scribble the shadow on the ground as well. Alright, now there's all types of texture. And this one is rough, but not the only rough texture. Every type of mark can create a different texture, and sometimes we have to work in our sketchbooks to figure out just what type of mark is going to create the impression of the texture that we observe. So this next sphere will be rough as well, but a different kind of rough. I want it to feel fuzzy rough, not smooth. So I'm going to use rings of marks that go around the lightly drawn pencil circle that I made as a guide, and I want my rings of marks to become less dense, for the marks to become less frequent as we work toward the light. In this case, we're going to make the light in the center and the shadow of this sphere just all the way around the sides. Alright, so I've started my third ring of marks, and as you can see, these are much shorter than the first. As this fuzzy ball would have pieces that point out towards our viewer, those little pieces of fuzziness would become foreshortened and therefore appear to be shorter or smaller in my drawing. All the way to the center where I make just a few dots. That looks pretty good. It's not dark enough, but the arrangement of value fading from darker around the sides to lighter in the middle is there. I'll just keep building up the darks, building up my range of value to increase contrast so that my sphere shows up a little bit better. The light will feel lighter if the darks get darker. Alright, I mostly just want it pretty dark right around the edges where we'd be looking through the most fuzzy pieces. Alright, so same pen, both rough spheres, but a different kind of rough, or a different kind of not smooth surface texture. See how many different types of texture you can create on a sphere in your sketchbook. I hope that you've enjoyed this lesson on drawing texture with a pen. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing at TotalDrawing.com.